Hi, hot dog. Good morning. It's almost time to start. No harm starting a minute earlier. Yes, hope things are looking good down under and you're having a decent portfolio. Oh, you're in the middle of traveling across continent. Wow. So you're doing this from a plane. Amazing. Thanks for joining, hot dog. Thanks for giving me company. Looking forward to see INF joining us, Sandeep, Inf. Yeah, today it's interesting because our friend Hot Dog has given us a tip that he wants us to look at. So I'm going to get started right now and let us take the uh, out of the country. Okay. Thanks for coming, though, Hot Dog. Thanks for joining up. So we have some tips from our friend David Best. It's talking about rare earths. So we'll look at that also today in the session. Just wanted to take you through what is happening out here. The fear and greed index is receding a little bit. And we have some news items out here which are kind of interesting from a philosophical perspective as well. Like it or not, NATO is hitting a 5% defense spending target, US says. So if we were faced with an alien invasion, I would say that, yeah, 5% defense spending by every country is worthwhile. But after the World War II, the kind of peace we established enabled us to spend less on these kind of weapons and defense and more on development of human condition, quality of life, better jobs, better life outcomes, longer lives. This is a total waste of money going into defense where there is a lack of mutual trust. So this is not very good. But defense industry stocks are likely to go up further. So whether you're in Europe or whether you're in any country, put money in your defense stock, because if a part of the world starts spending 5% of their money on defense, the others will also spend to catch up and keep up. And you would expect that there will be less of R&D for general human development. That's the negative side of it. So that said, Germany's MERS wants to meet with Trump and tackle some agenda. I would be just careful about the White House meeting because we have seen at least 2 or 3 debacles out there. So hoping nothing bad comes out of it. What else do we have here? We have a headline out here which says stock futures are little changed after Dow snaps 4-day winning run. And so then we have ECB rate decision. European Central Bank is set to cut interest rates again. This is all happening because of the tariff issue. So European Central Bank has to prop up the market and keep up the demand and try to help the companies which were depending on export income to survive this process until some kind of agreement comes in. So that's the reason why they are cutting interest rates. And I think that's the economic reason why that inflation is going down. Because those companies which are exporting a lot of their products to US, they're going to let go of people, and those people will not be purchasing as much as they used to before. So it'll all be the basics that they will be buying, and they'll be trying to make their savings last a little longer while they try to search for another job. So when all these people come looking for other jobs, the job market is going to become weak and wages are going to go down. So this is the unfortunate outcome of this tariff battle. And ultimately, there will be equilibrium. But when that happens, the whole world order will be changed because of what is happening right now with the tariffs. So that's what I'm saying. And let's go back into the futures. I would like to go to the dollar index and see what the dollar index is doing today. These are all 3-minute time frame candles. So I'm going to go for a 1-minute candle out here and have a look at what's happening. Well, let's recalibrate. This is what we need to do with TradingView platform. We have to recalibrate it. So we are well below our horizontal line of resistance at 99.176. Our support continues to be 97.279. So I would say not too bad, but I would start suspecting this reverse head and shoulder likely to get triggered. if we were to look at the reverse head and shoulder out here, then I think it's already triggered. So where will it go? Let me take the line here and put it out here. So we are looking at 96.346 at the very least as the target for US dollar. Now, if you look at the 10-year yields, the 10-year yields are back into the bear channel that they were in. So the target that we had out here is no longer valid. I'm just going to remove it because we are already fallen down significantly. So this now becomes a bull flag. We'll check it out later. Right now, I think the whole market is a bit confused. One of the reasons why I get confused with the bond market is that typically when you have bad news from the economy of a country, people are not going to want those bonds anymore. And they would expect that the federal bank or the central bank will cut rates. So I think that's the area which confuses me, because at this point of time, US should be always the safe haven when anything goes wrong. In the past, even when things went wrong with the US became the safe haven and attracted a lot of money into US dollars. But now with all those policies that are in the big fat bill, tax bill, and a big beautiful bill, and also the tariff tiffs that are going on, which are disrupting supply chains and trade relations and causing markets to go down. We just saw Europe likely to cut its interest rates to boost the economy. With all those things happening, I don't know how it's going to affect the US bond yields. So I'm going to let it be right now. I have got a sentiment oscillator out here, which shows that the sentiment which was bullish for a while has now started going down. So probably we might break out from here and the yields may start going up. We'll see what happens. I don't have any clear understanding of the bond, so I'm just going to refrain. I'm going to watch that and learn some new lessons if I can. Next, I'm going to look at the indicators where we left them yesterday. And we can see that we are still below this minor line of resistance that we had drawn a very long time ago. And we had entered into this path from the 25th of February, and we have not broken up above that even as we enter 4th of June 2025. In the pre-market session, we are still below this. So this continues to be a resistance. And our support for today would be a very strong support at 5,934.39, which also happens to be the 9-day exponential moving average. So we had a golden cross out here, which is a bullish sign. And we are still in a bullish context at this point of time, partly because there is no death cross to negate this golden cross. However, if you look in the insights, you can see the bullish sentiment is going down. The MACD has been bearish, and momentum still is along with the golden cross showing a bullish bias. So I would say it is 50-50. Maybe markets are waiting to see which direction to go. Look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ has got a resistance today at somewhere around, I would say, 21,919. And it has got a support in this 9-day exponential moving average, which happens to be at 21,424.51. When we started off, we were looking at the futures, and futures are still, they are a bit stagnant out there. Since yesterday, they haven't moved much. They show a gain of 0.04 and 0.03% respectively for S&P 500 futures and NASDAQ futures. It's neither here nor there. It's a wait and watch approach that is going on. Let's look at VIX. VIX is up very mildly, 0.17. Again, wait and watch is happening. So I think even pre-market participants are not having a sense of direction, that they have conviction to put money before the market opens with the hope of making a gain. And if you look at gold, our reverse head and shoulders is predicting us to go all the way up to 3,728.13. This is my expectation. And I didn't buy gold even though I said I would. The bearish sentiment is ebbing. MACD has become bullish. Momentum is above average and picking up. Maybe today I'll pick up ZGLD because I'm thinking that, if the markets are going to go down, then and if the dollar is going to go down, that would mean gold is going to be going up. So I'll go and have one of those ZGLD lots, 100 ZGLD. That's how I handle it. And I think that'll do well. I'm going to look at the chat section, and I can see that Hot Dog has mentioned something out here. In another video, I was suggesting looking at APLD and CRWV. Their moves might be done though. Oh, okay, Hot Dog. Maybe I think I did APLD, but I didn't do CRWV. So why don't we check that out right now? Because we are in the chat lounge. We don't have a set agenda. Let us go. I think I have already got APLD out here, and I did a very quick review the other day, and we had plotted a target which has been met and exceeded. The target was 11.63 for a cup and handle. We went past that. So we are in an overbought area with APLD. In my opinion, the sentiment is very bullish. So we could see some consolidation today, and you may be right. It's already done. Applied Digital Corporation. Now, the other stock that you mentioned, I have to figure out why the entire comment doesn't come out properly in my chat window. I'll do that. CRWV is the other one that you're talking about, Hot Dog. So let me take CRWV in here. CRWV. CRWV. Where did it go? CRWV. Oh, it's already there. It's already in our list. CoreWeave. CoreWeave. Where do I find it? Oh, we have so many tickers out here. Maybe I'll just go to a new place and add CRWV. Instead of searching among the hundreds of okay, CoreWeave is here. Let's look at CoreWeave. What's happening? Oh my God. Look at that. It's all riding on the back of NVDA. So I'll be a bit careful with CoreWeave because it may already have run its due. And NVIDIA and CoreWeave will move hand in hand. And it's just like what we are seeing in Ginkgo Bioworks, where Ginkgo had a lot of subsidiaries and they were buying and selling with the subsidiaries. NVIDIA has got shares of CoreWeave. So I'll be a bit careful about this, but boy, if you had invested in this, you could have made a lot of money. Of course, I'm coming from the perspective of being a retiree who is loath to taking risk to lose capital. But if you're a young person, like this is something phenomenal to play around with. You have a golden cross, and the divergence between the 9-day exponential and the 21-day exponential is increasing. So I would say that, it's looking good, but RSI is overbought. Caution is advised. And we have our MACD also is pretty bullish. So somewhere around the line, there should be a bit of consolidation. And looking at the overall market, I was arguing in one of my latest videos, why would AI stocks go up if the number of companies actually going to buy AI is going to shrink? Because there is going to be a shakeout in each sector with everybody trying to compete and get into AI. And that will lead to mergers and acquisitions and some companies just shutting shop because they can't afford to invest in AI and therefore they will perish. Or cross-sector alliances to capitalize on AI investment. So the optimization is going to happen on the purchase side also, to reduce the cost of investment and to reduce risk due to competition. So expect a lot of M&A happening. And when that starts happening, the infrastructure stocks for AI will start dropping because the market size which is projected right now probably does not assume mergers and acquisitions and dropouts because they can't afford to stay in the business because they can't afford AI. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what you think, Hot Dog, about that, and whether that's too far out and right now just put the money and make money, right? So I don't know how to think about that, but this is what I'm thinking overall about CoreWeave and NVIDIA. So that's the down the road thing. I don't know how far off that is, but that's what I am thinking. You can share your thoughts out here and let me know what you think. Now, next I'm going on to look at, let's go on and go back and look at QQQ, what's happening in pre-market and QQQ. It's up 0.06%. QQQ has got, if we assume that we had some kind of a stop out here momentarily and take that as a minor line of resistance, we can further refine where QQQ may stop today. It could stop at 532.66 or 533.17, and it could have support in the 9-day exponential at 521.46. That's where it would probably find the range in which it will move today. And let us look at IWM and see what the bigger market is saying. Yeah, we have broken out of this this bearish pattern out here. This was a line of resistance for us all the way from 25th November. So I would say this is a really good sign. And along with this, if you look at this pattern out here, that means that we are going to go up. How far up? Well, we have triggered this reverse head and shoulders. So I would say that we are probably looking at somewhere around the region of 238.77 for Russell index. So this is looking bullish indeed. But if you look at the interiors, right, underneath, the bullish sentiment is waning. MACD is still bearish. Momentum is above average, but it is dropping. So in light of that, if you look at minus 0.28 this morning in pre-market trades, or minus 0.05% drop in pre-market trades, you can say that the market is also equally confused what it wants to do. And I would say Russell Index kind of represents actual America, whereas if you go to S&P 500 and NASDAQ, a whole lot of weightage for the Max 7, which is kind of skewing the whole market. It is the IWM market, which is going to consolidate, merge, acquire, and prepare itself for an AI future. So the shakeout is going to happen out here. And they're already facing a shakeout with the tariffs because many small companies which cannot afford to stockpile are already going to lose out this back to school and the Christmas market out here and potentially go out of business. And the others which have merged and gotten a bit stronger, they would have the rest of the market to play around with. We'll see how the shakeout happens. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking out there. And Hot Dog is saying, yes, I have taken my profits from those two, but I wanted to highlight that AI growth is moving to data center builders. Yes, Hot Dog, I think I read your comment about my latest video on AI and about why NVDA is still good. Where you, I take your point. It's not just the it's not just the learning part, right? Learning part would have been the front runner for gains for AI, but inference is definitely something which is going to be ongoing, and inference is where the money is right now. Yeah, I take your point. Point well taken. I think those of our subscribers who can't see the full comment from Hot Dog out here should probably look at it from the YouTube channel later on, rather from this live stream, because you would be able to say his full comment. And if it's in yesterday's video, it's very pertinent. So I stand corrected out there. Maybe in my next video, editorial in the weekend. I'll try to address that for the wider audience. But that's an important point out there. Now, having said that, let's go on to look at AI. What's happening in AI? NVIDIA, the bellwether, it's negative 0.42 in pre-market trades. Why could that be? And we have a support at 140 for NVIDIA, somewhere in the range of 140.50 to 140 or 139.50. That's the broad range, I would say. This line exactly is at 140.12. The markets will push you a little bit here and there just to take advantage of people who are following technicals. So that's my 2 cents out there. We are still bullish to an extent with NVIDIA. We have a golden cross, which is bullish. RSI is almost on overbought, so that is bullish. MACD is also bullish. Sentiment is also bullish, but sentiment is waning. So that's the thing that we have to be careful about. So there could be a bit of consolidation while the RSI kind of stabilizes. And then a move upwards. That is quite possible because NVIDIA, I think, is at the root of a new industrial revolution that's going to touch everything, including genomics, robotics, automobile, self-driving, defense, everything. It's going to fundamentally change our civilization. So that's got to be worth a lot more than potentially what we are seeing right now. Let's look at Meta. Meta is up 0.25% in pre-market trades. We have Google, which is up 1.51% in pre-market trades. Amazon is up 0.64% in pre-market trades. And Apple is down 0.17%. Again, the China factor, international footprint, a whole lot of competition, lack of deliverables in the AI area is definitely biting Apple. Apple has got to do something big in AI to get its mojo back. Microsoft is up 0.08%, very lukewarm. As I said, I'm into MSFT. I have shorted it, saying that we got to fill up this gap, but it's relentless. My only hope is the resistance at 467.95. Let us see what happens. Tesla is down 2.36%. I have already shorted it with TSLQ, which is doing extremely well. I doubled down yesterday by buying another 50 TSLQ. I already had 100. So I dipped a little more into it, and I might get into it a little more today based on the trends. So it is trying to break out on the downside out here. It did that yesterday. But today, we are somewhere closer to the earlier support of 330.05, which now becomes a resistance. We are well within this particular channel, and our support for today is going to be 310.79 for Tesla. In terms of internal sentiments, I would say the bullish sentiment is waning, and the MACD is already bearish with the signal 9 moving away from the MACD. We also have momentum that is falling. It's almost close to just average. So things are not moving in the right direction for Tesla. Personally, I would think that there's another aspect which probably underpins the lack of confidence in Tesla. Apart from the negative will that Elon Musk garnered when he was very close to Trump, and with his Doge cuts and everything, he lost a whole lot of favor out there. Now, by publicly criticizing the tax bill, he's incurring the wrath of Trump. I remember before Trump got elected in the first term, Richard Branson had in an interview said that Trump is a very vindictive person. He recalled a lunch meeting with Trump, where Trump had invited him for lunch. And he said throughout the meeting, Trump was talking about how he's going to get even with those people who did not lend to him when he actually wanted the money. So he had mentioned that, and those words are always at the back of my mind, and I've seen it work out time and again with Trump. He went after Michael Cohen. He's going after Harvard, and he will go after Elon Musk. He's already dropped the nominee for NASA, a NASA chief's role, which was a close associate of Elon Musk. It's only a matter of time before Trump starts attacking Elon Musk and sicking all the agencies on on Tesla, SpaceX. Uh, Tesla, SpaceX, everything is getting a lot of money from the U.S. government, like EV rebates and NASA contracts and other things. So now Jeff Bezos stands to gain with his Blue Origin. So watch out that space. And that could probably be at the bottom of Tesla. And that was the reason why I shorted Tesla. And that bet seems to be paying. Of course, this is my personal opinion and not financial advice. I could be totally wrong on this count. So please think carefully. And I live in Canada. So you can always expect a little bit of Canadian bias in me because US has not been good to Canada. So I'm trying hard to overcome that bias, but it can always seep in out there. And in the past, it has cost me money with my decisions on Tesla, and it could do so again. So I have taken my risk. You have to be careful, and you have to think about your own analysis before you get into these kind of trades. Oracle is down 0.15%. Full disclosure, my wife works for Oracle, so I don't touch Oracle shares. They've got those trading windows and other things. So I don't do any trading in Oracle. It looks like a pretty good stock, and it's getting into the AI bandwagon as well. And they have tie-ups with IBM. And they also are into that Middle East boondoggle that Trump unleashed when he talked about Middle East target during his visit to Middle East. And Elon Musk and others signed a lot of deals. It'll be very interesting to see if those deals that Elon Musk signed in the Middle East survive his breakup with Trump. That will be another telling sign, and it will also give us an idea of the durability of the Middle East contracts. Some of those which have been valued at more than the GDP of some of those countries. So that's what I would watch out there. But Oracle definitely is doing great overall. And it's not in the public eye that much. And it's a really solid backbone in the IT infrastructure. AMD is up 0.09% in pre-market trades. SMCI is down 0.59%. I have been invested in SMCI. I dollar cost averaged a little bit with the feeling that it's going to come up because of the pattern that I see out here, but it's still struggling range bound since 14th of May. So that was a risk that was taken, which didn't work out very well. I'm going to wait and watch what happens out there. Hopefully in the next few days, I would be able to profitably get out of those stocks. Broadcom is up 0.77%, very strong stock. Sentiment is extremely bullish. MACD is also very bullish, and momentum is pretty good. RSI is overbought, so there should be a bit of consolidation. And let me look at the line up here. So the peak that we have gone on the RSI scale is 85.38. We are just shy of that. We are right now at 74.13. So maybe another 11 points to go up here before we drop down. I wouldn't depend on it because the overall environment is a bit dicey. So it could consolidate and it could drop. I really don't know, but it could find a lot of support on its way back, somewhere around 250.06, followed by 247.07 before it comes down further. I believe it will be a bit too late to get into Broadcom, at least from my retiree perspective. So I would say that, you know what, I'm not that keen about Broadcom right now. It's a great company, but I'm going to watch on the sidelines. Palantir. Now, Palantir, I think it's a business case that is going to get a lot of money, but it's also going to be a lightning rod for a lot of issues. I'm starting to hear news reports about data that was taken from Social Security and other places by Doge being used in Palantir to do a deep dive into those data. Now, that is something that can become a lightning rod against Palantir. So if those news reports are real, and if they start coming out, I can guarantee you more than 50% of American population is going to be anti-Palantir. So that's my feeling. So probably I would take a little bit of PLTD today And now I'm looking at the sentiments. The bullish sentiment is waning. MACD is still bearish. It's very close to the signal line. But if you look at the histogram, you can see that it's moved away from the signal line and momentum is dropping even though it's above average. So now would be a right time to probably do a little bit of shorting from my perspective, right? Again, this is personal opinion, not financial advice. I'm planning to do a little bit of PLTD today. Let us see where PLTD is and how much it costs. If it is inexpensive, I would dip my toe into it. It's just $10.06. I would definitely take it. And you can see a bullish sentiment emerging, MACD becoming bullish and moving away from the signal line and momentum starting to pick up. I could be totally wrong on this one. I've been wrong many times before. Friends, this is a retail investor channel where I'm going to be honest with you about my thoughts with the expectation that like Hot Dog and Inf and others, you might also share your ideas and your pointers like David Best shared some pointers with us today, which is what I'm going to talk about next. It's going to be a company in rare earths, US Rare Earth, USAR. This is one company that Hot Dog is saying is the place where business is going to be. And Hot Dog, I think from my personal experience looking at his picks, has been ahead of the schedule. Of course, there are times when I picked up something that Hot Dog had mentioned and it didn't work out, but then it's my responsibility when I pick up a suggestion somebody had made. I did my analysis, I did my risk analysis, I picked it up and it didn't do well. That was my fault, not David's. So David has got one more out here, USAR. This is a rare earth company. China is putting a stranglehold on the rare earths it's exporting. Therefore, right now, the recycling of rare earths is happening in US. And US rare earths could be a company that could probably develop technology. And they already, according to David Best, they already have signed a deal with, I think, Polestar, which is an EV manufacturing company. And these EV manufacturing companies need these strong permanent magnets, which are, I think, neodymium or neodymium. I don't know how to pronounce it. They're made out of that, and that is rare earth. The problem with rare earth is that mining them requires special expertise, and there is a little bit of environmental impact as well. So that's the reason why China has specialized in it, and it has become really good at extracting them at economical rates. So it doesn't make it viable. Now, if any company in the US wants to get into rare earth, now is the good time for them to do so. But remember, if the tariffs are removed, then China will dump rare earths and take these people out of business. So that's the risk factor out there. So that's what I am thinking. I would like to hear from you what you think about this. And if David Best is watching this video at some time later, David, put your thoughts in as well. Want to see what you think about it. So that said, let's look at the other stocks that I generally check out. But I think there was one more stock David Best had spoken about. It was a stock called MP. Let me look at MP. What is MP? Is there a stock called? It's Materials Corp. Okay. Let us see what action is happening in Materials Corp. Materials Corp is also picking up. So I think David is just a bit ahead of all of us on that. So again, I don't know fundamentally about these two companies. I still have to study. I'll probably make a video on them for our audience. And then it's up to you guys what you want to do. The bearishness is going away. MACD is bullish. Momentum is above average and picking up. These are all the symptoms that I look at to pick up a company. Now, between MP and USAR, I think I'll go in for USAR because it's in a much earlier stage. I don't know the fundamentals of these companies, but $10.35 is something I can put 100 there and not worry too much about it. But if I went for MP, it's $24.58. So I'll be blocking too much of my little capital that I'm willing to risk. So that's my selection. I'll let you guys know if I pick up any of those. Now, before I wind up, I want to go into genomics. For our genomics audiences, Prime no trade pre-market, Intelia down 0.26% pre-market, Caribou Biosciences flat pre-market, Beam Therapeutics up 1.22% pre-market, but still we have resistance at 17.44 and the 21-day exponential at 17.26. So that's what we have out there. Altimmune, positive 0.36% in pre-market trades. It's going to have to break this diagonal line of resistance out here, this red line out here. And then we have Verve, which is flat pre-market. Editas. Okay, let me go back to Verve and just give you a little bit of pointer. We have line of support out here, minor, which is at 4.93. That will be the support for today. Editas up 1.10%, still has to break through this 1.90 minor line of resistance. Illumina up 0.11%. It's still range bound. Nothing major out here. CRISPR Therapeutics up 0.47%. Could it break through this resistance today at around 38.70? Possibly. We can see that. And we have support. And that support is the 9-day exponential moving average, which happens to be out here. Let us see. It's at 37.40. That's going to be the first support, along with the 21-day exponential moving average, which is also in the same region. So that's a very strong support for CRISPR. Sentiment is still bullish. MACD is bullish. Momentum is above average. We need more momentum and interest in CRISPR. People are cautiously optimistic about CRISPR. That's what I would say when I look at these three indicators out here. Allogene up 0.78% in pre-market trades. Resistance will continue to be 1.36 for today. Then we have Grail. Grail is down 0.02% in pre-market trades. PACB is flat in pre-market trades. ARCG is down 0.35% in pre-market trades. Vertex is down 0.17% in pre-market trades. Inco Bioworks up 1.72% pre-market trades, still range bound, has not been above 8.49 all the way from 3rd of March 2025 onwards to date. And that will continue to be a resistance, and support will be 6.45. Unicure up 4.21%. Resistance today is 16.03. IMPX down 2.21 yesterday. No trades pre-market. And that's about it, my friends. That's all I have for you guys. And of course, I'm continuing to market Precision. I'm going to continue to watch Precision, and it's going down steadily in a diagonal line of I would say there's a diagonal line of resistance out here. If I was to connect the trend line with the tops that I see out here and mark it red, I would trade off the older line with the newer one, which is much more definitive. And I would say that we are forming a kind of wedge pattern out here. Don't know where we're going to break out from. The next few days should give us some clues out here. One of the reasons why I'm looking at Precision is that in August, they have an FDA decision waiting. Their BLA is going to be reviewed at that time. And we could potentially get a catalyst bump out there. So wait and watch. That's what I'm doing. So friends, that's all I got out here. Thanks, Hot Dog, for meeting me. We'll see you next week. Bye for now. And I'm also taking this opportunity to end the live stream, and I'll catch up again. And happy travels, Hot Dog. See you later. Bye.